Very true.
Outside lane, hanging tough here on the restart.
Oh, here we go.
Trouble. That's Casey Kane. It goes sideways. Joey Logano nowhere to go.
Oh, my. Half the field is gone.
The big one at Daytona has happened at lap 97.
That is the huge one at Daytona.
Justin Allgaier.
Oh, the
Denny
18
Hamlin,
gets on its roof.
and Kyle Busch rolls upside down.
Wow.
See the 26 car of Cole Witt, the 38 of David Gilliland.
Just having a good old time over here. Just hanging around. Okay. Just stay buckled up. Let them get you flipped over here.
That's Kyle Busch. Yeah, there goes our antenna on the onboard of the 18. Kyle Busch. And that was I think the slowest rollover
and the latest
I've ever seen.
It was almost like a delayed reaction to the crash. Saw rookie Ryan Truex backing through your picture. He had damage. Safety crews are there.
And let me tell you that, you know, when you're upside down in one of these cars, Kyle, because you're so buckled in. Let's take a replay here. It looks like the 16 got into the 5 a little bit too hard and just turned him. And man, what talk about getting piled up.
Watch the 3 car when we get another replay of Austin Dillon come shooting up through the middle and trying to avoid the accident.
26 of Cole Witt just got into the 18 to turn him over.
And watch Danica in this outside line right here. She and the 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Wow, that 1 car's up in the air right there.
All 4 tires were off the ground.
He just launched.
It's that was perfect. I mean, she just slowed it down enough to let everything clean off in front of her, as Brad did.
As they got to the corner, as you get to these corners, once the cars go up, they will come back down.
Especially when they slow down.
Yeah, when they slow down, they just come back down the racetrack. And that was, she was in the right place in this line to be able to whoa her car down, not get run over from behind, and just kind of right there, she's nose to nose.
That Austin Dillon that got through that 3 car, man, he did a nice job getting through there as well.
Nice job by him.
We ride with Kyle Busch, who at the end of this mess goes on his roof.
22 is pushing to 41. You need to get lower. We're in it.
Right here. And it was just because his car was on the banking and on the apron, just at the right enough angle for somebody to just kind of toss him upside down.
She runs up on the outside there, gets into the front, just gets hit in the back by the 26 car that ends up hitting the 18 car. So she's probably got a little nose damage and a little bit in the back of the car.
Second time today really she's dodged a bullet.
Yeah, from the in car here.
Stay high, back it down.
Just barely gets into the car. And
Still inside here, there's no lane. What do you got here?
That's a good job.
And then it just opens
I mean, I can hit the front back, but...
Really good job.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr., who had just gotten back on the lead lap.
And Dale got it slowed down enough to where he could stay away from it.
Okay, around the outside up by the wall if you can.
That's perfect.
As you look at the carnage as he drives away.
And that's why you want to be on the lead lap here, because you know if you get the big one, all of a sudden you take out 12, 15 cars, you're right back in the mix.
You know, I was saying about these cars, you're in these cars so tight anymore. It's not like you can just unbuckle and get out of these cars easily, because you're so tight in these seats now, and everything comes around the helmet, and kind of sit there and wait a long time. It seems like forever.
Red flag out for the 2nd time today. It happened earlier for rain, 10 laps into this event, and here we are at lap 98.
And see, and like I said, he's still sitting in there, but there's nowhere. If he unbuckled, if you look at, there's nowhere for him to go, which is not a good feeling.
No,
be upside down. The cameras still work.
That's impressive. Kyle Busch, a runner-up last week at Kentucky. One of the best runs this team has had in recent weeks, but unfortunately today going to be captured in the big one here at the World Center of Racing. And as he climbs from his car, a nice hand from the crowd.
3 and 4. Oh my goodness!
Sideways the 18, hard into the wall. Around goes the 24 as well. William Byron sliding all the way to the inside wall. Jamie McMurray caught up as well. Kyle Larson avoiding the 18. He went way down on the apron.
Guys, I'm afraid to say it, but I think Stenhouse was involved in this one as well.
I do too.
Can't wait to see the replay so we can really dissect how this all started. I did not see these guys having an accident right there.
Denny Hamlin, before this race started yesterday, he said he expected to see a wreck fest. Well, Denny Hamlin, you were right.
As Denny is probably sitting in his bus right now watching this race.
I mean, this is crazy. We're not halfway.
And the very charismatic winner from a week ago at Chicagoland Speedway, Kyle Busch, walking away from his destroyed 18. He hit the wall hard. He comes over to talk with William Byron.
Just checking on him. Take a look at the roof cam of the 17. So he gets into the quarter panel 18. 18's trying to get down there and side draft, and the 17 of Ricky Stenhouse is not following the 24, not following his line exactly. He's also trying to side draft. So Ricky's trying to side draft 18. 18's coming down to side draft to 24. Just a couple bad decisions there. Trying to, you got to be aggressive on the side draft, and that's what happens sometimes when there's 3 or 4 guys trying to do the same thing.
So what the 17's trying to do right there is he's trying to get as close to the left rear quarter panel of the 18 to slow him down, and he gets into him. He came up the racetrack so aggressively, I almost wonder if he got tight or something. Like,
maybe.
He can see that the 18 is right next to William Byron. The 18 can't go any lower. Watch what happens right here. So see how close the 18 and the 24 are. Right here. 18, he's not going to go any lower. The 17's up the racetrack and gets into the 18. Just makes me wonder if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. didn't lose the front of the car and get up the racetrack and get into the side of him. In trying to side draft and you're close to somebody, if your car gets tight and it moves 2 feet, now you're into the left rear quarter panel and causing a wreck.
We've saw these guys have balance issues on the bottom groove. He could have lost the front in the dirty air of the 24. He could have lost the nose a little bit there. I think he was going up there to get a little side draft and maybe did overestimate how much front grip he had.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gets through. Ryan Newman.
Whoa! No, Johnson's out of it. He can't go.
Big wreck going to happen here on the front
straightaway.
straightaway.
No, man. You are kidding me?
Pretty well blocked. So here's the restart.
It's a nice jump here.
Yeah, he starts to go, but it looks like when he shifts.
That's where he shifted third.
And it just didn't, something happened.
And then here comes trouble.
It's on from there.
Look who this takes out, the 78, the 4, 47. All these cars piling in there, nowhere to go. Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Bam, right into the 24.
Kyle Busch.
Going to be easier to tell you who's not involved.
2 to go. The guys running 6th and 7th have torn up race cars. You know what I mean? I mean, they've been in accidents, but they have driven the wheels off of them, Kurt Busch and Juan Montoya, to keep these cars in contention.
The only ones not with any damage are the ones at the very front of this pack. But we're not done as we're coming around, getting ready for the white flag.
31 at Burt Car.
Here they come, to the outside. Here comes Kyle Busch. He's got him, and Tony cuts off him.
Now what's Tony going to do?
You're clear.
And now the question is, Tony's got no help because these guys are running too wide behind him. Right. So now it's man on man right now.
I don't think it's gonna get wider here in a minute, I believe.
Here comes Johnson in behind Stewart. Is it enough? Hamlin's high side up there by himself in the 11. First lap led all night by by Kyle Busch, and it's the money lap, and it might be all it takes. Now, what does Johnson do to help Stewart?
Doesn't matter. Kyle Busch is going to hog all the racetrack, or he should. He's mirror driving right now.
Tony Stewart trying to get to the bottom.
He may get turned for mirror driving, but he's going to be mirror driving.
Oh, Stewart's trying to squeeze in there.
See that hand?
Shoving to the bottom.
He just wanted to touch him, man. Just wanted to touch him.
Can't get him to the high side. Here he comes. No,
there he turns him. He turns him.
Busch in the wall. Here comes Stewart to the checkered flag. And another car gets in the backside. It's Casey Kane. And they're scattering everywhere as they come to the line.
Some of these guys hit hard, man.
And one of them was Kyle Busch.
They're still hitting hard. Man, that's an ugly finish. But incredible.
But that was 100% mirror driving, and that's what you had. That's what Kyle Busch had to do.
That's what Kyle Busch had to mirror drive. Tony Stewart had to put the car there and stick the car where. We saw this same thing in Talladega when with the 09 car with Keselowski. He stuck his car in there, he drove it, he put it where it needed to be, and that's the way it was.
Look at the damage to his race car as Kyle Busch crawls out and walks back down the racetrack.
But, I know people are going to start, well, this guy did this and that guy blamed this guy. And all. Let me tell you, Kyle Busch did what he needed to do. Tony Stewart needed to do what. This is how you go after winning a race at Daytona. You leave everything on the table. This is Daytona.
The fireworks are going off in the sky, but the fireworks on the racetrack even bigger.
Okay, this is the pass that 18 makes on the 14th. Good, clean pass. He had a little bit of help.
Wow, he got a great run right there. I don't know where that run come from. It's almost like Tony's car got out from under him or something, because it's almost like Tony checked up. If he could have just put his bumper to him just a little bit and got him loose and slid him up the racetrack. You see him right here. He drives right to that corner right here. When he makes that turn, boom, I want to be right on that 18's corner and force him up the racetrack right there.
Okay, now Kyle's hanging on, but he's going to block. Back. And it just ran himself over the 14 car.
And here's what happened. Just like we talked about at Talladega and everybody talked about, block me once, that's okay. Block me twice, you're going up in the grandstands or you're going in the wall. And that's what happened. The 18 made two swipes at him. One to the inside, one to the outside.
Yeah, this one's fair right here. This one's not fair. You kind of had it coming.
Yeah, he had that one coming. When you cut back across the hood of somebody after you've blocked him once, and Tony, once he blocked, Tony put the bumper on the outside of him. He was there.
Watch the 9. I think it's the 9 car
gets
takes
right in the
hit.
back.
I mean, just clobbers Kyle Busch.
And these guys, there's a 31 car, but these guys hit hard right here.
Logano finally, his luck ran out. But
you see these guys coming across the racetrack. This is ugly down here. They're very fortunate nobody got hurt right there.
Trying to bump you. Stay on this yellow line. Chase up, coming up high. There you go.
Pick the rear tires off the ground. Now watch this next hit.
Oh man!
Wow. That's a 180-mile-per-hour shot right there.
Man, that was brutal.
Listen to it.
I think they lost the camera on that one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
For Tony Stewart, his 36th win in his 374th start. Oh, man, there goes our camera.
And we lost another camera right there.
Daytona fans got their money's worth.
That was Stewart's crew.
Straightaway.
This is why everybody looks forward to the 4th of July race here at Daytona. Watch this finish.
And, I don't think Stewart, I think once he sees all this, he shouldn't be beating himself up too much on this deal. I mean, like I said, you're looking at your checkered flag at Daytona. All bets are off.
Yeah.
That's a hard hit by the 18 car because he hits with the left front and then drives the driver's side into the wall.
When he gets drilled by Kane right here.
And we got the safer barrier, but I'm telling you that Hans device, those things.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's a shot. So he got hit. He took a shot in the front, and then he took a shot from the back. I mean, and then he got one in the door.
Oh,
see, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, that's what I said. Is they were going on down. That's why I kept trying to follow the cars down. I'm like, they hit really hard past the start-finish line. Not only these cars, the 31 car. There were 2 or 3 cars that took some major licks going into turn 1 down there.
And the bad thing about this is he already has damage on the left side. That's what I hate, is seeing a car get hit twice in the same spot.
Ooh, the 9 car gets hit right dead in the door by the 31 car. You see him. Then the 20 car hits his 18 car right in the door.
I bet you that's the hardest shot he took.
Spin, smash, crash.
Huge.
Kyle Busch's bad day continues, and he got Joey Logano as he was sliding down off the wall in turn number 4. Nothing Kyle could do. Joey doing everything he could to avoid him, but could not. Kyle Busch said the car was again snappy loose.
We don't
came
see
around
this.
at turn 4.
You don't see this every day. Backing down pit road.
Well, I think he can see out the back window better than he can the windshield right now, probably.
I think he's just looking for the garage, to tell you the truth. You'll see Kyle, the car just snaps out from under him again like it did earlier in the race.
Stay to the bottom, stay to the bottom. All clear, all clear.
Down the hill, and when it does, Joey Logano was trying to get by on the inside. You'll see Joey coming along here. Thinks Kyle's going to stay up next to the wall, but the car comes down, and that is amazing.
Yeah, Joey was all the way on the apron.
He felt like Kyle was probably going to stay outside up next to the wall, but the car was just coming down the hill. And look at that 22 car just goes airborne. What an impact. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
2 drivers coming off great runs at Texas last Saturday night. Kyle won, Joey finished 5th.
Whoa, Kyle Busch is around. Big wreck.
Wow. There's
Dale Jr. got involved.
Oh, Junior's in it, and Matt Kent's is.
And Ty Dillon and Eric Jones are all piled up in turn 3.
What the heck happened?
The 18 just turned around. I don't know if he got himself in a unique position, or the car got loose right there going in the corner, or he had a tire going down, but it just turned around in front of everybody.
I don't know. What happened to that 18 car? I'm like you, Joe. I just saw him start to get sideways.
Kyle Busch, one of the favorites for the 500, and try to repair it.
All right, let's see what we got.
There's Kyle Busch.
All by himself.
Boy.
Oh, it just turned. I mean, that has to be a tire. There's no way that car just jumped around like that without something happening to it. I mean, he just lost. That thing just went sideways.
They were working their way through some slower traffic right here. I can't imagine that there was an aero situation there, but
something cut that tire.
Definitely turned around.
Did he make contact with that car he was passing?
That's a good question.
I didn't see any, but we can look at it again. He's just right there. He's all by himself. Now watch. All of a sudden, that car goes around like a left rear tire maybe went down.
Before that, he and Michael McDowell were pretty close together on the racetrack.
Junior almost go up on 2 wheels.
Jimmy Johnson on the inside. Scoots through.
No, that thing just turned around, Mike, all by itself.
You're right. McDowell was nowhere near him.
Right.
Kyle Busch has gone to the garage. He is out of the Daytona 500. Per the new crash damage policy rules. Here's what Kyle had to say.
Fantastic. What, that left rear? I think it was the right rear. Right rear went down. Just entering turn 3.
Wow.
Nice miss by Elliott Sadler in the 7. A wild ride for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Right here, right up and over the nose of Kyle Busch's car. Wow.
Boy, I tell you, that was lucky.
Now, under the crash damage policy, they can make repairs to Junior.
Boy, Kurt Busch in that 2 got such a run through the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to take second spot away from Burton. Here comes his brother Kyle to the inside. And almost wrecked him.
I told you. There he goes. I told you.
Oh, my gosh.
Checkers are wreckers.
That boy's got a lot of talent. If only he can harness it on a weekly basis.
How'd you like to be the referee in that family?
But you know what? Jeff Hammond talked about it at the top of the show. An expendable car. You know you bring it when you come here.
Kyle Busch made a bold move. Ended it out taking out Big Brother. Here it is. Watch the 5.
This is what $1 million will make you do right here. Got that nose in there. Now they're hooked together. Little wobble, and he's out of control. And boy, he just barely got the back of the 2 cars. They went into the corner.
Boy, Burton in the 31 just makes it by. Actually, I don't think anyone else was involved in this.
And that's hard to believe.
Saw Casey Mears in the 25 all the way down on the apron. I think he actually did get spun out.
Boy, great camera work to capture the first contact.
And look how close. If he just had a little bit quicker on the 2 car of Kurt Busch, he would have been out of that.
Let's watch from Kurt Busch's Miller Lite Dodge.
3 wide.
From Jeff Gordon.
Keep it down there. Good job, good job.
And you know, they just got that 2 car where I think they wanted it with Kurt Busch.
Yep. Kurt has been strong and been in a position to win several races this year. Sometimes circumstances have dictated the outcome, and Kyle Busch has won a race this year. He won at Bristol.
Probably should have won 4 or 5, but things like this keep happening.
Just barely got him.
Atop Kyle Busch's pit box was car owner Rick Hendrick. And there he stands with crew chief Alan Gustafson. And here is Dick Berggren.
With Kyle Busch. I'm with Kyle Busch and Kurt rather, sorry. And we've just moved out of the way so the mechanics can work on the car. How much more difficult is it when it's you and your brother than when it's you and somebody else that takes you out?
Yeah, I was waiting for the day, and we got together. I was making a clean move on the 31, and then I got a car on my inside when I'm on the bottom lane. And so I was waiting for the day when we got together. We did, and we were racing for $1 million. You know, the tough part is I wrecked real close to the end at the Daytona 500, and there was a lot of money up for line, and a guy named Harvick won the race. A guy named Harvick's leading right now. So that was a bummer to have my little brother pull that move on me, and maybe I should have given an inch instead of taking an inch from him. But hey, that's what the All-Star race is all about. I just hate I got a wrecked race car, and so does he.
You will talk to him.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk to each other. It's just tough to have this scenario happen out on the track, but inevitably it was going to happen. So we'll see what he has to say about it, and we'll see what we can do to discuss it. But right now, I'm not eating any cut logs anytime soon.
Okay, thanks, Kurt. See you next week at the 600.
A drag race into turn 1. Oh, Kyle Busch slides and does the 78. They both go up into the wall through turn 1. Caution comes out.
Lock her down. We're done. See you.
Fighting for the spot. The 18 got loose up high. The 78 was loose down low. 78 slid up and hit the 18. They both go around. Big flames underneath the hood of Martin Truex Jr.'s car. He jumps out of it. They have fire suppression systems under the hood, as well as in the driver's compartment and in the trunk where the fuel cell is. So that fire suppression system working to put the fire out, but there were some big flames rolling out from underneath the hood. Martin Truex Jr. not happy at all.
Well, Rick, it all started, you heard Marty's report. For most of the day, they've been allowing each other. The lead car, the control car, has been taking the outside. The other car has been letting that leader in. Jeff, you said it was time to contest, time to race down into turn 1 side by side, and that is exactly what created this accident. 2 drivers trying to win one of the marquee races of the year.
And once again, Kyle Busch dominating the race. and not going to be in victory lane. So this trend of 2017 continues. Here you go. Kyle Busch on the outside. Just rolls up on the outside of 78. 78 gets loose, just like we saw with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. a minute ago. Got loose getting in the corner. Could not hold the car on the bottom. Gets in the side of the 18. Ty Dillon, great job not running into the side of Kyle Busch. This is racing. This is side by side. I know it's 49 to go, but it's side by side racing for the win. You saw the wiggle from Martin Truex Jr. He just could not hold the car on the bottom without being loose. Had to turn the car to the right or he would have spun out and got into the side of the 18. It's hard racing. It's track position racing. You have to be aggressive. You have to push on these restarts. This is the result when you push, but if you don't, you're not going to win these races.
The winless streak will continue for Kyle Busch. It now goes over a year.
Look at the rear of that car just fold up.
And we had just seen it on the previous restart, Rick. These two cars left the field by 1 second in one lap. They were hands down the two most dominant cars here today, both eliminated. I'm not sure I know who the favorite is now.
Is there a new favorite?
Anyone else?
Well, who's going to step up and seize the opportunity? It's there. It's there for the taking.
Coach Gibbs. Joe Gibbs not happy at all.
Look at this fire. It's so scary. See the wind and net come down. Martin Truex Jr. right now, even though he's still moving, he sees that fire. He's unbuckling. He's getting ready to get out of that race car as soon as he can get it stopped.
And you never know exactly what it is, but with the hit on the right front, normally what happens, Rick, is something in suspension brakes and either hits a fuel line or an oil line. That looks like, as intense as that fire is, either fuel or oil underneath the hood. And then, as you mentioned, that suppression system is automatic under the hood.
And there
you
it goes
see it go off right there. Inside the car, the driver needs to set it off, but under the hood, it's automatic. Really, just like in your hotel room, right? If something goes on fire, it sprays the suppression, puts out the flames. But still, I mean, even with the fire being hot, it's got to be hard to breathe, Jeff, as a race car driver in that.
Yeah, it's very hard to breathe. You saw that long cord that was still hooked to Martin Truex Jr. That was a radio cord. It kind of will hold you into the car. You just got to jerk that thing and break it.
So the fluid that came out of the car, they're trying to keep that from spreading down the racetrack.
So now the conversation starts, right? Why are we racing? You know, now that conversation, because remember, you have Joe Gibbs racing that, you know, helps the 78. They work together in some sorts. Why were we racing at each other that hard? Why were we doing that? We had the two fastest cars. Well, because the two fastest cars, they both want to win. And you cannot sit around and wait for the right time. You have to take that opportunity. You never know when the winning moment's going to come, Steve. And right now, on this restart with 48 to go, you've got to go try to take that lead.
Jeff, you're exactly right. Let's restart about how important it was that they wanted to get out front.
I think we need to race him. You on board with that, Adam? He's driving, man. Absolutely. All righty, 10-4.
That was the 18.
We'll do whatever. Take the bottom if we want to. Okie dokie. It was fine all day when it was the other way, I guess. Yep, copy that. Is that the plan for sure? Copy that.
It doesn't sound like Martin Truex Jr. wanted to go on with that plan. He felt that the plan previously had been working.
Well, it's the same story. Martin Truex Jr. feels like there have been multiple restarts where he did not contest the position. So you said it, Jeff. At some point, playing nice has to go out the window. From that radio, it seems that Kyle Busch's opinion of when that should happen and Martin Truex Jr.'s opinion of when that should happen were definitely different.
And it will always be different, right? And somebody's got to get to the point and say, look, it's time. And when this happens, now, like I said before we heard these radio broadcasts, that now you're going to start questioning it. Like, why were we doing that? But, you know, when you are a race car driver, you're a crew chief, and you say, okay, now it's time to push that button. Now it's time to try to make more happen. If it doesn't work out, it's easy to point the fingers at you, but that's what winners do.
He just turned it.
Kyle Busch into the wall will bring out our fourth caution of the night, and there was no question he got turned.
Wow.
Yeah, there was definitely no question there.
You all right, Kyle?
He's got his neck down before the car's even stopped. He is hot.
Yeah. Kyle Busch leading this race. Caught a big break early after having to make an unscheduled pit stop.
And you know, that's kind of...
He's okay. He's getting out.
He's going to be looking for the guy who turned him, I believe, which is going to be the 42 car.
Juan Pablo Montoya was behind Kyle Busch, but was not on the lead lap. You remember, he had pitted under green, so...
But these guys have new tires, and these guys have... Some are on new and some are on old. And as we see these guys, you see the 18 get the run, and they just hook bumpers right there. Wow.
How can you hook bumpers going down the back straightaway?
I'd like to say, I want to see this angle, because you see Juan going over to him and Kyle coming up. You hook bumpers when both people are crossing each other. You know what I mean? One's going left and one's going right. I'm not, you know, that's a bad deal, but I think the 18 thought he was cleared, and I don't know what the 42 was thinking at that time, but you know, it's going for the same place on the racetrack. But that's definitely, it always amazes me at Daytona. We have so many crashes in the middle of the straightaways.
I know.
And we really do. We have so many crashes in the middle of this super stretch over here. You see the 11 down below the line trying to get out of the way, and they just hook right there.
Happens virtually every time we come here. It's going to create for some interesting situations. As you're right with
outside you.
Kyle here.
Too wide here, just two. Corner. Hanging on your corner. Oh, you just turned us. 42 just turned us.
And you hate to bring this up, okay? But it's kind of the same situation that the 18 did to the 11 the other day in practice. They just hooked bumpers.
You all right, Kyle?
They were crossing each other.
Kevin Harvick, one of those that had made a pit stop the first one lap down. He will receive the free pass as we get one more look at the accident that has brought out our fourth caution of the night.
You see Denny looking in the mirror. He's pulling way out of the way because he sees these guys 4 wide.
And I think the 18 thought he had a good enough run where he was going to clear the 42.
The race leader is Jeff Burton. Here come the leaders down pit road.
Wreck. Big wreck. A lot of cars.
Casey Mears, the 42 car, he's going to spin.
He hit the wall real hard there. 42 did, 5 did.
A lot of damage to that 42 car.
A lot of damage to that 5 car.
Kyle Busch spun and hit the wall a ton. He's okay.
Definitely crashed.
He's got the window net down. That's a signal to the track workers that he is all right. But his night's over.
Rowdy Busch has done rowdied on down.
Remember, Kyle came in here 7th in the Nextel Cup points.
Watch Casey Kane.
42 just wiggles a little bit.
Gets into the 5, turns him to the outside wall. You see back there Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, just almost locking it down, coming to a stop.
Casey Kane does a great job right here. Doesn't panic, lets him go, gasses, good job.
Ready to lead.
So not a lot of apparent damage to Mirror's car, but when he caught Kyle Busch and turned Kyle hard into the outside wall, he's okay.
Quite a bit of damage to the back of that 42 car.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's upset, but the picture showed Casey Mears just got loose.
Casey was not trying to hit him.
No, not at all.
A lot of frustration. Was that over something that happened earlier in the race, or just what took place on the front stretch?
No, just what took place there. But, you know, first off, I just want to thank all my guys back at the shop. I mean, they worked so hard to put these things together. We tear them up just like that. I mean, there's not much I could have done different. You know, Casey just lost it out of turn 4, and I was trying to turn down, but I didn't want to spin myself out in the process, and he collected me and spun us backwards into the front straightaway fence, and you know, just very frustrating moment for myself. You know, we had such a great race car that I felt like could have won the race, if not at least finished in the top 5. I mean, we were really clicking right there at the end of my race. So all in all, I mean, I just wish it would have been a little bit better outcome.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
The driver was Brian Vickers. The other irony is that Tony Stewart, who's now steaming up the outside. Oh,
trouble.
Ricky Rudd in the wall.
Trouble back
Nemechek
there.
around. Kyle Busch.
You know what? I'm not so sure that wasn't started. Oh, is that Dale?
Jeff Burton, 31 car. Kyle Busch, another wreck today, just like yesterday.
And a very hard hit.
That is, he's old. There's a window net coming down.
Boy, it's good to be 21, Darrell.
Nemechek's car crashed.
Kyle's going to drive it back.
He's going to try to.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere but in a circle, and if he's not careful, it's going to cook that engine, because you know the radiator, you can see the water running out from under it.
I tell you, we got to take a look at this, but I believe the 48 car was involved in this little skirmish.
Somebody tipped Ricky Rudd into the wall. Let's see who.
I think this watch just down the back.
Rudd is behind Tony Stewart on the outside.
Yeah, they're right. They're right here. Here's the 48 car right here.
But the 96, Tony Raines, looks like he got up into Jimmy Johnson, the 48, initially off turn 2, I believe, Darrell.
I believe you're right, Larry. I saw the 48 move. Gosh, that's a hard lick by those two cars. Good thing the safer barrier is there again.
Let's look from the rear bumper of Kevin Harvick's Pennzoil Chevy.
Oh, man, look at Nemechek's car go airborne. And then Kyle Busch's car goes airborne when it hits the rear wheels come off.
There you see Harvick racing Kyle Busch for position after they've made their stops.
Oh, Larry Tardine. Oh, man. Was that a misjudgment or was that a turn on purpose? Rusty, what do you think?
Well, it looked like Kevin was trying to dart back underneath them. He had a big run and just didn't quite clear him. It looked like a racing accident to me, but boy, it's
They bumped
awful.
earlier, though. Remember, they had some.
Makes you wonder.
the car to
pit road.
Wow.
See, Kevin tried to do that swap over.
He did. He slid right up. Thought he had him cleared. Kevin gets below him, and woo! I'd say it was incidental, but Kyle's probably not going to feel that way.
And that's what I'm telling Kyle Busch to pull the car over and stop on the racetrack.
Get out of the race car, bud.
So the fire crews can go attend to that.
Comes the fire truck. He's coming to your left. Bud, you got to get out of it. You got to get out of it, man. You got to get out of it.
Look at that.
All right, there's the fire truck right there. But it's up front of the motor. You got to get out of it. All right, he's out, boys. He's out, and he's okay.
So Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick racing for position just after making green flag pit stops. Contact once between the two cars and contact with the wall for Kyle Busch, and the caution is out for the 10th time in this race.
I don't know. You know, Harvick pulled a slide job on me earlier in the day, and I crossed over and passed him clean, but apparently it wasn't in the time of day in order to do that. I don't know, but my guys work way too hard to be in this position and fight hard all day long to be put with a wrecked race car at the end of the year. You know, we wanted to come out here and finish strong. We felt like we had a top 4, top 5 car, and it just means so much to me, to those guys, that we come out of here with a good run like we were having, and it's very unfortunate. You know, it's just a guy that doesn't have his head on straight apparently today, and thought everything was good. Talked to him in the you know, in the pre-race and the drivers meeting and all that, but he's such a two-faced guy, it just doesn't matter.
Trouble! Kyle Busch into the wall.
No, yeah, right.
Brian Vickers also involved.
Just fine and dandy.
That thing's destroyed in front. The third place driver in the championship starting the day, who started at the back in a backup car at a track that has been his worst statistically in his career. And it is indeed another bad day in Kansas for Kyle.
Just flirting with danger on each one of these, and talked about how they just continue to ramp up.
See if there's some contact here.
Oh, yeah.
Carl Edwards. Ron Vickers was down on the inside. Thought he was in a pretty good spot through that. But it's not a situation that you can say because of the 99 getting in the 18 that was Carl Edwards' fault. He was holding his line there. That's just 3 wide racing and the chance that you take. That's a hard hit, hard angle. It's again a testament to the safety of these vehicles and all the things that NASCAR has implemented over the years. See Kyle try to get what he can here.
Middle's covered. 3 wide top. 3 wide. Yellow's out. Yeah, right.
Really amazing how well the restraint systems work in these race cars.
Alan walked out under his own power. Kyle, describe your day, starting with the last incident. What happened out there?
I have no idea what happened on the last one. All I know is we're in Kansas, right?
This has been a trend, unfortunately, for you. This place has still got you.
Obviously. And apparently everybody else does too. Just run over the 18 car and get what you need.
What about your championship hopes now? We've talked about mulligans in the past. Whether you get one, can you still come back, you think?
We'll just have to work hard. We'll just have to keep doing what we've done and getting us to this point all year long. And that's been consistency. And every other track except Kansas seems to be able to bode well for us. So we'll see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. It wasn't meant to be.
Between his own race car. So what did he do? He implemented a specialized team, completely dedicated to restrictor plate racing. Less than a dozen people. Oh, and we've got trouble on the track, and it's Kyle Busch upside down.
Big time crash. Kyle Busch goes upside down and rolls down across on his roof here on lap 26. Cars comes back over, and now side over side barrel rolls and comes to rest on its wheels. A horrific crash here at Talladega on lap 26 involving Kyle Busch, and thankfully the window net is down. There, the safety crews on the scene immediately, and Kyle Busch is clambering out of that car. Wow, listen to this crowd.
Well, that's a true testament to the safety of these race cars. See him just jump out of that car like that. That was what would look like a very violent wreck, but man, he just jumped right out of there. It's a real testament to the safety features that these cars have.
Yeah. I'll show you again here. That doesn't take much here. Now, Kyle Busch, left side of your screen in the 5 car.
Now, he moved to the outside to go around Casey Mears. It looked like Tony was going to go out there to help him, and it could have possibly been a little bit of contact. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be, because you can get yourself out there, and all of a sudden the air's changing, and just a horrific wreck. But once again, Kyle Busch gets out and walks away.
We sure did a lot of damage. It looked to me like right here, as we watch this, it looked like that maybe they all started stacking up. It's hard to say that Tony Stewart wasn't getting some help from behind, or maybe even further back than right behind him. Like they're all just kind of stacking up.
Yeah. Yeah, when that happens, usually because everything changes, the air changes, and what you've been doing right there, you might have been wide open at that time, and then all of a sudden things change.
Sadler to the inside in the M&M's machine, fourth position. Oh, Kyle Busch. Around and into the wall hard.
Oh, run just barely looked like squeezed by the fine.
Okay, clear, come on. He shortened that thing up or what? He was in the 11th position.
Said we were smoking coming up with throttle turn.
So they were smoking.
Garage, guys, garage.
Caution out.
No brakes.
On lap 150.
No brakes.
No bumper either now.
I was going to say, no trunk.
About to lose the deck lid, too.
Yeah.
Brakes have, since they've stopped shifting here, brakes have been a problem for these cars.
Sure, you when you were downshifting going into turn 1, that would help you slow the car down. Now you're just completely slowing the car down with the brakes, so yeah, it's a lot harder on brakes.
Marty, and you talk about him having no brakes. He was saying he had no brakes when he went into the corner, and he was just trying to save himself from wrecking us even harder than he did. So that was the problem. He had no brakes when he went in the corner.
Together right there, the 10 car. 8, get together.
But still no major wreck. Junior currently running 6th. And The last time we had everybody.
Whoa, I've got trouble right there.
Now
My boss is around right there. Along with Matt Kins is also.
And this will take some people out of the race, no doubt, Mike.
And Jeff, that was right at the same point in the pack. Scott Briggs got turned up to the high side. And look how many cars pile in.
I'm seeing 11 cars here on the backstretch. This is 11 cars. I don't think that we're involved.
The accident happened at the exact same point on the racetrack where Riggs got up into Dale Jr. 1 lap ago, the one you saw on replay. Joe Nemechek's car won't run.
You all right? Scott.
All right, there's Ryan Newman, Dave Blaney, Scott Riggs, Jason.
I know you probably got the wind knocked out of you. If you can hear me, just key to mic so we know you're...
That's Ricky Rudd. There are, looks like the parking lot. It looks like the line of cars trying to get out of here after the race.
10 in the 8, that was the first sign right there.
Had Mike Wallace, Casey Mears, Rusty Wallace, Kyle Busch, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Scott Wimmer.
You just had nothing going on, you know, and just to be sitting here and doing nothing for no reason just didn't make any sense to me. But I liked it when we were battling and racing, and that's why when we got in the back, we kept trying to go to the bottom to get to the front.
Oh, trouble on the racetrack, trouble way up high, and we now have the big one here with 44 laps to go, the 5-car involved. McMurray is there, Rudiment is involved.
7-car got it.
A lot of Torque race cars here. Chase contender Kyle Busch, he's in it. Major damage on the number 5 Chevrolet in his car.
Driving the famed number 43 that Richard Petty took to victory lane here 7 times.
And all of those cars are cars that had made green flag stops prior to that caution. Boy, Brian Vickers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., that ain't going to work, boys.
Vickers hard. Here we go. Kyle Busch, the dominant car of the day, in the wall.
That was wrong.
And 10 cars sliding, slamming into the infield.
Jimmy Johnson, totally uncalled for. Totally.
I don't care who you are. That was just wrong.
Caution is out. McMurray was a contender. He's all torn up. And the dominant car of the day, that of Kyle Busch, is a victim of this pileup.
Here goes Kyle Busch. See if he can make that work. Down on the inside, he's trying to make this pass. And I think it's going to happen.
Oh, man. Up across the racetrack and contact with the 07 car.
Reed Sorensen gets a piece. That's Jason White. Oh, my good. Wow.
And
a hard lick right there.
That's your points leader, folks, here for the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and he could be done for the night.
Boyer and Jeff Gordon here.
Like I told you, when you come on the bottom like that and you come up the track, you need the whole track. And looked like the 18 of Kyle Busch was about the right rear. Let's see where he is right here. Right up to the corner. Yeah, just wasn't run out of room. Boyer came up. As
Kyle Busch was lapping Brian Scott, trying to move to the inside of the 33.
Looked like just from what we saw here they come back here into turn 3, and it looks like Kyle just gets in the corner really hot with that 33 on the outside, and he got into him.
Right front failure to me of some sort,
yeah,
because Kyle isn't going to go in there with all that momentum and carry those 2 cars that hard in the outside wall.
Gets the power down, tries to clear the 22 off the corner. The 22 has to contend that. He has to try to take that momentum back to the outside, and the 18 has to try to close the door. In my mind, that is purely a Bristol racing incident. I think both drivers are doing what they had to do.
Rick, as we heard earlier, Kyle Busch experiencing something wrong with the race car. Not sure if something's broke or not. They've encouraged him to try to drive through it. He's done his best, but this is what he just said.
Something's different in the right front. Yeah. Something's coming loose. The toe is going every which way, getting into the corner. Oh, yeah. Something's broke.
Crew Chief Adam Stevens has rallied the team and put them to work behind the wall, getting ready to bring the 18 in, perhaps to do service on it behind the wall at the right opportunity.
Something broke there. Yeah, he went sideways and it's broke, and now the caution's going to come out for the 18. Contact as well.
Oh, Larson in it. Kyle Larson's in it.
Kyle Larson got caught up in it. The 46. Justin Allgaier, Martin Truex Jr. involved.
That's what we talked about, how quick it happens. The 18 spun by himself, but these other cars, as they're entering the corner so fast.
And this is when those two cars in the front are getting out there, and the guys have a chance to gain some momentum on them as this pack catches them.
They can't do this for 10 laps.
Eric Jones around. Back across the field. The big one, part 2 at Daytona.
Yeah, they can't do this.
A horrific crash for Kyle Busch, who slid through the infield grass and went head-on into the inside wall. And he is climbing from that car, and that is an unbelievable sight. Wow.
I mean, he hit that wall head on. Looked like he never even slowed down.
Oh.
And that's
There's Samantha. She probably does not know that he's getting out of the car. But that is a great sign. And you saw her say thank you, and perhaps one of our cameramen sharing the news with her. Wow.
Fast car all day long. J.J. Yaley tore up. Chase Elliott, our defending series champion. There's where it started. I don't know how it started, but we saw that 20 car of Eric Jones go around first.
Brian Scott in that top 10 part of the mix. He also got damage.
And Eric Jones went across the start-finish line in 3rd spot that lap and turned just as the exit did the tri-oval.
I just looked up late and caught a glimpse of Kyle sliding through the grass, and you see Kyle here being tended to by medical officials. And he is alert and obviously talking, and that's a great sign. But it's got to be an incredibly helpless feeling as a driver when you're sliding through the grass like that and knowing there's not much you can do at that stage.
Well, and for us, we've been lucky as competitors to see this sport evolve with the safety. And when you hit one of those concrete walls and you've been hitting these safer barriers, you have no idea the difference in what it feels like. And when you hit them head on like that, it is a violent impact.
Let's look one more time at what happened.
Kyle is pushing Eric Jones, or behind Jones. Looks like there might have been some contact there.
And there you see Kyle, top of your screen. And now we'll go from our blimp view, and there you see Kyle and Eric racing together, and just follow that 54 car after the contact with the white 20.
Like there was some contact there, and Kyle bumps into Larson, and it turns him to the left. Elliott Sadler hit there by Brendan Gaughan.
And there's the 54. You saw the impact. And we go on board with Bubba Wallace.
Check up, check up, check up, check up. Down, 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 down. Keep rolling hard, keep rolling hard. We're in it, we're in it, we're in it.
Chase Elliott already beat up from an earlier accident. Had a front row seat as well.
20 gonna go in the middle. Be a big right behind, 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 big right behind. We're fine. We're fine.
I think looked like he thought he had it cleared, and just from the side.
Come on, keep coming low, keep coming low. They're coming down, one coming down, coming down. Keep putting back high, high, out on the track, clear. Track is clear. Keep coming there, track is clear.
Saw the 14 of Kel Conley just tried to avoid the crash, and when he turned left, hit Chase Elliott. Dale Jr. working his way through.
Half up now, one back high with you, 3 top. Keep coming top, keep coming. You're clear, back it down, back it down.
What about that?
Never lifted.
Into the wall. Never let off the gas. He and Ty Dillon slide right through. Great job by Eric Almirola. You can see both of them into the wall, but they were able to slip through. As was Austin Dillon. What a great move by Austin to miss the crash.
And lost in all of this, you saw Dale Jr., how he laid back, didn't get involved, didn't get any damage. He's the first car one lap down. He's going to get the free pass, be back on the lead lap, and there will only be a handful of cars on the lead lap when we go back green.
Yeah, and that whole wreck started just because, you know, the cars were light in the tri-oval. Kyle was pushing the 20 car, doing what he tried to do to advance forward. And you see that 20 car just get a little bit loose, and Kyle was still right there on his bumper. And when he started swerving around, that car just shot that car out of control.
You've said it several times today, both of you. Explain what it means when the car is light.
Well, that car is light right there as Kyle's pushing him. So Eric's trying to just let it have its head and go as straight as possible through the tri-oval. And then they become not centered anymore. And as Eric starts to come back down the racetrack to try to get back in line, it just spins the car out. Yeah, that is a huge hit for that 54 car, and you know, it looks like that something broke.